In this video, we will discuss creating alignments using the PI method. If you'd like to follow along with this video, please open the file 0603 creating alignments-pi method.dwg located in the training folder as discussed in the Working with this Dataset video. One of the simplest methods to creating alignment is using PIs, or points of intersection. So let's just discuss how to do this. First, let's go ahead and create our alignment. In the Home tab, Create Design panel, we have the Alignment dropdown, which contains all the alignment creation methods. We want the Alignment Creation Tools option. Let's go ahead and give this a name. So for this project, this is a bypass alignment. We don't need to include into a site because we're not doing any kind of parcel or subdivision design. We have the style that will be used to show or display the alignment, and we do want the labels to appear automatically. We're not using design criteria, but note that you can use design criteria which will follow AASHTO methodologies for super elevation and speed limits. Note that you can change the starting station, and you can change it afterwards should you forget to actually change it to a specific starting station. Click OK, and this opens up the alignment layout tools. So we're going to use the PI method, which are the first 4 tools here. And before we continue on, let's go ahead and check the curve and spiral settings. So by selecting this, you can at least define a default radius to apply to the curves and spirals as you generate your alignment using the PI method. In this case, we have a couple with the 500-foot radius, so we'll use that as our default radius. Click OK, and that will now be used to apply to the curves as we place our PIs. We'll go to the dropdown, and we'll select Tangent with Curves. And in this case, I actually have the starting coordinate. So remember the transparent commands. I'm going to use an apostrophe and E, so I know the northing and easting. Press Enter, and then I'm prompted to define the northing. So the northing is 901285.932. Press Enter. The easting is 145.6414.0065. Press Enter. And now I'm done with entering my northing and easting, so to get back to the original command, as with all transparent commands, press Escape once, and you will notice that your alignment has begun at the correct northing and easting. Now in the drawing, I provided circles to just snap to the center of these circles, so we can just go over the basic functionality of creating alignments using the PI method. So I'm going to right-click on OSnap, go to Settings, and I'll clear all my snaps and just turn on Center OSnap. And then simply snap to the circles provided. We'll snap there, and notice that as we do so, the curves are added automatically. Now for this last PI, I also have the northing and easting, let's say provided to me by the surveyors. So now I can type that in as well. Again, we'll do apostrophe and E, press Enter, and the northing for this is 902046.977.624, press Enter. The easting is 145.4647.923116. Press Enter, press Escape. And now for this one here, I also have the bearing and distance of, let's say, the center line of the bridge here. So I want to lock that in as well. So the transparent command for bearing and distance is apostrophe BD, press Enter. Notice how you're prompted for the different quadrants. Northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest. In this case, it's northwest, so I could actually simply click in the drawing or type in the number 4 to enter that quadrant. And now I need to specify the bearing, so this is in decimal form. So I don't need to enter north and west as far as the bearing goes. I can simply type in 66.4514 for degrees, minutes, and seconds. Press Enter. Notice how that gets locked in. And then if you had a point about which you could snap to, you could simply snap to the distance to grab that distance. But in this case, we know the distance, and it's 953.01 feet. Press Enter. It still keeps you in the bearing distance command, which is pretty cool if you're doing any kind of traversing or alignment creation for existing alignments, and let's say you happen to have the bearing and distances based on a set of plans. So this is actually a very useful tool when you need to create existing alignments. But we've completed placing the alignment, so press Escape once. That gets me back in the alignment creation tools, and then press Escape again, and you'll notice that the stationing appears automatically because we told it the labels that we wanted to place on the alignment. Now let's go ahead and edit the curves that are not the default 500. So that's the first curve and the last curve. So I'll simply select my alignment. And just to mention here, now these tools are already open, so I could have actually selected the Alignment Grid View tool. But if, let's say, these tools were not open, I could simply select the Geometry Editor tool from the contextual ribbon, and that would open up the toolbar. Let's go ahead and select the Grid View, which opens up in the panorama. And I'm going to turn Auto Hide off so we can see the alignment as well as the panorama. I can even press Escape to clear my selection set. Notice how this still stays open. What I want to show you now is the interaction between the panorama grid view and the alignment. When you select a horizontal element, you'll notice that in the drawing, it does update, which is really cool and gives you a nice visual feedback. Notice that, as we discussed in the constraints video, there are fixed constraints and free constraints. So even though the tangent is a fixed constraint, which if connected to another fixed object would not maintain tangency, because the arc is automatically tangent to both lines, and tangency will be maintained as you make edits. So again, we want to change the curves here. So I'll scroll to the right. And again, one of the great things about Civil3d is its visual feedback and dynamic modeling functionality. So as I change the radius here, automatically the stationing will update and the PC and PT labels will also update. I need to next select the last curve, which is number 8 here. And notice how that highlights in the drawing. And for this radius here, I want to change this to 700. Press Enter. Notice how it automatically updates as well. If I press Escape, that will bring my alignment back to normal view. And then if I'm done with my editing, I can simply close the panorama window. You can also close the alignment layout tools once you have completed your alignment. This concludes this video discussing alignment creation using the PI method.